So quit wasting valuable time and money. Call or text Just Ship at 352-234-3840. That's 352-234-3840. Just Shipped.
This is Ocala Talks with Tom Schmidt, bringing stories that are important to our community in and around Ocala. Plus, of course, a splash of sports as well. Now, here's your host, Tom.
Good Monday morning. Welcome to Ocala Talks, the 25th day of April. Man, the fourth month is gone now. This year's flying by. It's probably because we're back outside and back doing things, and the world's open back up for the most part. Not just the great state of Florida, which, stayed open the whole time. Galen Unoff from Life South joins me thanks to the good folks at Penn Flooring, Palm Garden Health Rehabilitation Center, and JustShip.net. Galen, good morning to you.
Hey, what's going on, Tom? How are you today?
Good. I have to point out that, every time that I have to remind you, periodically, once every 2 or 3 weeks, 4 weeks, that oil's not $250 a barrel. It's not $150 a barrel. We're hovering around the $100 mark. So, your prognostication about oil, I don't know if I trust you or not.
Well, that's fine. We haven't gotten into the season yet. We'll see. The way the Federal Reserve oil, they keep trickling it out just to keep the supply up, and that can't last. That usually has about a 21 to at most a 28-day impact, and so we're about to run out of that. I know there are some prognostications that gas is going to go down for Memorial Day, but I really believe this is going to be like one of those record Memorial Day travel weekends, that we have. I think this is going to set all kinds of records for the number of people on the road, because I think people just want to get the heck out of town and get away from wherever they're currently at.
Well, I know that the demand's going to be way high. So you're right. With the way supply and demand is and the way capitalism works, I can only see prices going up. Unless oil prices really tank in the next month or so, where crude oil gets down to about $70 a barrel, I don't see anything but upward momentum. And I know AAA's calling for lower momentum, lower gas prices, and I hope they're right, and I hope that we're wrong. But supply and demand in capitalism says that demand high, supply low, price go up. That's how it works.
Yeah, I want to be wrong. Because we all know what the impact that fuel costs have on everything. You can't do anything in this country without burning energy. I know people would like that to change, but it's just not going to. So, yeah, we've got to make some. Something's got to happen.
Well,
and we're not opening up more oil fields.
You need to switch. You need to switch your car over to propane. That's what you need to do.
That's still gas.
Then you could reach out. Then you could reach out to Hank Hill, get propane and propane accessories.
Well, propane is still gas, and it still has to be drilled, and that's another thing that.
Yeah, but it's clean gas. It doesn't hurt the environment. The environmentalists are okay with propane.
No, not all of them. They like some of it.
Well, the ones I interview on this radio, the interviews I get from the national people, everybody that I've had loves propane even better than natural gas.
And I do like propane. We have a ton of it. We have a ton of natural gas. We don't have a lot of places that we can pull it from. So yeah, I have no problem with natural gas.
Yeah, I think that we got that CNG station right there on Americamp. Just spend the $8,000 to $10,000, convert your car so you can save $1 a gallon.
Right. That's exactly right. Yeah.
Because that's what everybody goes, oh, we got the CNG right here. Yeah. But have you looked to see how much it would be to convert your car to CNG?
Right. Well, and the same is true with people going to electric cars. If you want to do that. I hear the Teslas are incredible. They're great until you have to change the battery pack.
Hey,
And
the battery packs are only between $13,000 and $20,000.
right, and they're still not completely sure how long they last. So yeah, good luck. Go for it. Buy buy
Galen,
that Catmull.
stop with all the periphery stuff. The Tesla is a great invention. Okay.
Well, I mean, the electric car's been around forever.
I don't know. It's been on a golf cart forever. It's been on a golf course forever.
Well, I mean, they had electric cars in the
1890s.
1900s,
Yeah.
1890s.
Yeah.
So it's not a new invention. Good for them. Again, I don't care. Do whatever you want. Don't force me to buy one. That's my opinion.
Oh, if this administration stays in office, and if by 2035 when they switch everything to electric, supposedly, if a Democrat's in office, it's going to be a national mandate. You got to trade. Be like, we're coming to get your cars, just like they want to come get our guns. You know what I mean?
Sure. Well, what they'll do, what they'll do is you just won't be able to register.
Right. You won't be able to put a license
engine.
plate on it. Right.
Right, unless it's like a classic or something, or it's a very limited use.
Yeah, and you'll only be able to drive it 5,000 miles a year and stuff like that. Certainly.
Something like that. Yeah, I mean, that's going to happen. And in Britain, it's like 2029 or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's like very, very aggressive. I was like, wow.
Well,
there's no way you can produce enough electric cars to meet that demand. So we'll see.
Well, and yet again, we talked to a man last week about the electrical grid and everything, and this was a national expert, and we had him on talking on a national interview, and he said that he's not real sure the grid's prepared to handle electric cars.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the draw is. I mean, it can't be, according to the tree huggers, it's not that much more than a refrigerator.
Yeah, well, right now we have to shut the grid down in the summers for air conditions. You think adding an electric car to it, we already shut the grid down now.
I'm with you. I'm curious as to how it all shakes out.
And by the way, how are they going to supply this grid? Are you going to get electrical power to create electrical power? Because if you're not, you're still burning massive amounts of fossil fuel to create electricity. Or are we just going to go to all water and all wind?
Well, you're not allowed to bring that up when you're like, well, how does your car charge electricity? Okay.
How do they make the electricity? Does it come from the Tennessee Valley Authority when they turn the water turbines on? Does it come from the wind farms out in Nebraska? Does it come from the solar farm at Disney? Or no, it comes from a coal-fired generating plant or a kerosene or oil generating. Oh, I see now. I see.
Yeah, that's exactly. Again, you and I, and again, if people want to drive an electric car, drive an electric car.
And by the way, folks,
problem with that.
Until you get two countries, there's 197 recognized countries in the world. There are 214 countries, if you want to talk about countries, even the ones that aren't recognized, right? Two countries.
Sure.
As long as two countries aren't on board, nothing we do really matters in the grand scheme of things. And those two countries, they only have a third of the world's population in those two countries.
Right.
Until you get India and China on board, we're peeing into a fan blade.
That's right. Now, I have no problem if you think it's better for, as we talked about, I'm pro-environment. I always will be.
I don't want the earth to end. I like the environment.
Well, good for you. If you want to drive an electric car, if you want to drive a Tesla, and both of my boys, the next car they buy will be a Tesla because they're in love with them, and they think Elon Musk is the GOAT, and he can do no wrong. And amongst, that Gen Z population, he backs up what he says, and they love him. So
they do.
But then again, they don't know. They haven't gone to the car lot and said, okay, I have a job. I can afford to buy this car, or I can not afford to buy a Tesla. they haven't been put into a real world situation yet. Where they're going to have to spend $70,000 on it.
No. There's a Tesla.
Or 18 on an Accord.
There's a Tesla that's $30,000.
Okay.
There's the small Tesla that's It's like 35,000 with all the bells and whistles, 38,000 with all the bells and whistles. There's one of those. Oh wait, but because it's so affordable, it's on back order for 27 months.
Right. Well, there you go. And those are the issues. And again, that's where the consumer has to make that decision, right? Or I saw the Lightning truck is coming out, right? The Ford Lightning.
Yes.
And then I looked at the price tag, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, you got a better chance. I got a better chance of getting struck by lightning than affording that truck.
Yeah, I saw one. It was like 54. I was like 54.
Yeah.
And I get it. Trucks are incredibly expensive. And there's a huge microprocessor back order problem. Man, I'll just take my Hyundai Elantra and let's go to work.
Oh, and by the way,
it gets 40 miles to the gallon on the highway.
By the way, we got to go to break. But as we go to break, I just want to remind you that micro chip thing you said is on back order and all. It's because precious metals are in short supply because there's a war in Ukraine. All right, we'll be right back after this timeout.
And all the batteries take them.
Yeah,
right?
all of them.
Yeah,
we'll be right back after this timeout on Ocala Talks, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM. It's WOCA, The Source.
Are you or your loved one being released from a hospital and wondering how you'll manage? Inform your physician that you want to go to Palm Garden of Ocala at 2700 Southwest 34th Street for your rehabilitation. Palm Garden provides pain management, post-discharge follow-up, diabetic care, psychosocial support, and so much more. Plus, they even offer outpatient rehab. This award-winning care facility has a team of licensed professionals dedicated to enhancing your independence. Call 352-854-6262 today.
Are you wasting time boxing up packages and going to the post office or the UPS store? Are you tired of not knowing what you'll pay when you get there? Just Ship offers pickup service and flat rate packaging and postage rates, which takes the guesswork out of shipping while saving you time and money. So quit wasting valuable time and money. Call or text Just Ship at 352-234-3840. That's 352-234-3840. Just Shipped.
Hi, this is JP from Penn Flooring here in Ocala. I would like to invite you to come in and visit our spacious showroom where we have solutions for every style and budget. From wall-to-wall carpet to hardwood floors and tiles, we have an unsurpassed selection of flooring. At Penn Flooring, we've provided quality customer service with a family touch for over 25 years. Visit our website at pennflooring.com or come by our showroom, 1201 Southwest 17th Street, just over the bridge. Penn Flooring, quality customer service with a family touch.
Blockers Furniture is having a truckload sale. Right now, you can save 20% on sofas and love seats when you mention radio. Blockers' 80,000 square foot showroom is home to the largest in-stock selection of living rooms, bedrooms, dining rooms, unique furniture accents, outdoor furniture, and more. That means you can take your furniture home that same day or have it delivered. Check out the Blockers Sleep Gallery, too. They carry a huge selection of mattresses, including all the name brands you love. Blockers Furniture truckload sale. 2402 Southwest College Road, Ocala, next to Hobby Lobby. Certain restrictions apply. See store for details.
Now you've done it. Have you lost your mind? He's back. And you're listening again. A legend in his own mind. Don't believe me? Just ask him. Here's Tom Schmitz live on WOCA. The Source.
Welcome back to Ocala Talks. Hey, don't go through another year with that awful joint pain. Now there's an exciting new treatment using natural biologics. Yeah, that's right. There's an exciting new treatment using natural biologics, regenerative solutions that can restore and repair damaged tissue in your joints. That's right, I'm talking about QC Kinetics, and they're open here. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in non-surgical regeneration. It's highly concentrated natural biologics that can give you lasting relief. If you have pain in your knees, back, shoulders, hips, and you're tired of the steroids, pain meds, and talk of all this major surgery, This is the treatment you've been hoping for. Call the medical professionals at QC Kinetics today for a free consultation. Learn about how natural biologics can be used to get you moving again pain-free. Listen, don't let them keep giving you steroids. Don't let them tell you surgery is your only option. Get a free second opinion at QC Kinetics. Do it now and imagine life in 2022 without pain. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation. Offices in Ocala and the Villages, 352-400-4550. That's 352-400-4550. Now we're back with Galen Unall from Life South. Galen, you might need some of that regenerative solution for your old body.
My knees. It's my knees. Man. They're in constant pain. I want to call them.
Speaking of constant pain, if you're a Jaguar fan, and I think there's like Matt Wardell and like two other people that I know. That's the only people I know that are Jaguar fans. I think they got a fan base of 3. If you're a Jaguar fan, you're going to realize Thursday night that the Jaguars have done something that's only been done 3 other times in the history of the NFL. They're going to pick first overall 2 years in a row. That's only happened 3 other times in the NFL. This dumpster fire, since Tom Coughlin left, it's been nothing but a dumpster fire the rest of the time.
Well, and that's because they haven't had any consistency, and they haven't had a consistent game plan going in, right? I mean, Tom Coughlin, for all his faults, had a plan, and he was disciplined enough to stick to the plan. And that's the hardest part of any organization.
He got to the NFL championship game. He got the AFC championship game with Mark Brunell. Okay, let's just
right.
Okay,
absolutely. And he built that team through the draft and through free agency, and he was just disciplined. And that team was very, very disciplined, right? And that's what Bill Belichick does. The great teams are extremely, extremely disciplined. Now, the Rams are an outsider. They had this core, and then they went all in on 2 or 3 players saying that's going to get us over the top, and they had a new stadium. And so they went out and got Matthew Stafford. You know, they got, what's his name from the Jags, the cornerback?
Jalen Ramsey.
And, Jalen Ramsey. And they went all in. They picked up, the wide receivers. And they went all in with Odell Beckham.
And it paid off.
They're going to pay for that. Yeah, right. And again, we know what a championship is worth. But for the next 10 years, they're going to suffer, right? And the Bucs have kind of done that with Brady and everything they did to keep that core together. And we'll see what the Bucs look like post-Brady. But some teams do that. The Jags they can't even keep their core together. You remember how great that defense was for when they played Tom Brady and the Patriots?
Yeah.
And then got the doors blown off of them. And then they completely abandoned that. And they keep reaching on these first-round picks, whether it's Blake Bortles or everybody else they've drafted in the first round, has been almost a bust. And let's see what they do with it, because a good pick, the smart thing for them to do is to trade it and get 2 or 3 other picks and pick up some offensive linemen, some defensive linemen, and to build it from the inside out. But they won't do that because they're not disciplined enough, and they keep trying to make the fans of Duval happy.
Well, you got to eventually, like you said, you got to eventually say, hey, here's our plan. Here's the 5-year plan. After 5 years, if you're not happy with it, then don't buy the season tickets and all. But this is what we're going to do. It's going to get worse before it gets better, but we have an objective we're going after. Besides saying, well, our objective every year is to win the Super Bowl. Not with that team.
Well, they got Trevor Lawrence, right? If he's what we think he is, and I'm not giving up on the guy, but he's got no offensive line. Their defensive line is okay, but because their offense is so putrid, they put them in really bad places. So if I'm them, I invest in special teams, right? I get a really good punter, a really good kicker, get some offensive linemen, defensive linemen, and let's start building from there.
But we're not. But that's good. That's a 36-month plan, 48-month plan. That's not going to happen in this year's draft. It can start in this year's draft.
Agreed.
It can start in this year's draft. But let's be honest. The decisions that the Khan family have made have not been to the betterment of this team and franchise.
No,
I mean,
no.
They fired their coach 13 games in because he was a whack job.
Do you know who the Jaguars compete with? Honestly, and I've said this since the day they were created.
Oh, I know exactly. They compete with two teams.
They compete with the Florida Gators
and the Georgia Bulldogs.
And you could throw in Florida State in there.
The largest Georgia touchdown club in the country is the Jacksonville, Florida club.
I get it. I get it. I get it. But again, and guess where the largest Florida University of Florida touchdown club is in?
Probably Jacksonville.
Atlanta.
Oh, Atlanta. Well, there you go.
It's in Atlanta. So again, there's this, but that's who they're competing with. And if you look at the way they select their teams, they're always selecting not necessarily the right fit for their team, but the right fit for their fan base. And that's a recipe for absolute
If you're
disaster.
trying to make the fans happy every year, they're going to be unhappy every year.
No. You know how you make your fans happy? You put up wins.
Yeah.
Winning solves every problem there is with a fan base.
Unless you're Falcons fans, then you don't care. You're just like, well, it's the Falcons.
Well, I was going to say the Rays because the Rays win and still nobody cares.
Yeah, well,
the
Falcons lose. The Falcons lose and nobody cares.
Well, so do the Cleveland Browns.
But by the way,
some people who are loyally dumb.
Well, by the way, Falcons fans are really still just drunk Georgia fans that don't realize it's Sunday. They see red and black, they think it's still the Bulldog game. That's all. That's why the Falcons do so well. That's why the Falcons do so well.
But again, the Jags have tried, and again, when this team moves to London, you cannot say they haven't tried. They've tried. They've just done.
By the way,
really
they're not moving to London.
poorly managed.
They're not moving to London. They'll move to Canada or Mexico City because of time issues before they move to London.
We'll see.
Montreal or Mexico City before they move to London, or Toronto before they move to London.
No way.
And by the way, Mexico, if they move to Mexico City, largest TV market in North America.
Oh, sure, but that's not. You don't want to go to that market because the NFL blackouts are god awful.
Well, that's good.
And the only reason that they haven't moved to London is because of the
time issues.
The sheer cost.
The time issues.
No, it's the cost. Because the paychecks don't go as far, and they're gonna have to have some kind of a increased cap.
Well, probably right too. We got to take a break.
That's a fact.
We're up against the break. We'll be right back at this timeout on 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA. The Source.
Broadcasting from the Ocala International Airport, this is WOCA AM, W242CA FM, Ocala, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
USA Radio News with Lance Pry.
Secretary of State Anthony Blinken and Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin said Monday after a visit to Kyiv that Ukrainian President Zelensky is committed to winning his country's fight against Russia and that the United States will help him.
We don't know how the rest of this war will unfold, but we do know that a sovereign, independent Ukraine will be around a lot longer than Vladimir Putin's on the scene. And our support for Ukraine going forward will continue. It will continue until we see final success.
President Biden will visit Israel following an invitation from Israeli Prime Minister Bennett. While both governments confirmed on Sunday that Biden had accepted the invitation to visit Israel in the coming months, neither side gave a date for the expected trip. The two leaders spoke on Sunday. For more information, visit us online at usaradio.com. USA Radio News.
If you're concerned about the power grid and want to generate your own supply of off-grid electricity, this will be the most important message you'll hear this year. Here's why. we now have a small number of solar generators back in stock. These emergency backup systems provide life-saving backup power when you need it most. And unlike gas generators, solar generators run quietly, emit no dangerous fumes, and produce an endless supply of free electricity from the sun. Whether it's wildfires, dangerous weather, power grid issues, or just getting off the grid, you'll never have to suffer through painful power outages again. Even better, all this week, radio listeners get over $700 in free off-the-grid bonuses too. Go to mysolarbackup.com to learn more and check availability. That's mysolarbackup.com. Look for the free report, Crisis Cooling, how to make absolutely sure your meat, milk, and medicines stay safe and cool in any power outage. Yours free at mysolarbackup.com.
Blockers Furniture is having a truckload sale. Right now, you can save 20% on sofas and love seats when you mention radio. Blockers' 80,000 square foot showroom is home to the largest in-stock selection of living rooms, bedrooms, dining rooms, unique furniture accents, outdoor furniture, and more. That means you can take your furniture home that same day or have it delivered. Check out the Blockers Sleep Gallery, too. They carry a huge selection of mattresses, including all the name brands you love. Blockers Furniture Truckload Sale. 2402 Southwest College Road, Ocala, next to Hobby Lobby. Certain restrictions apply. See store for details.
It's bow time. Ever taste something so good you just get hooked? Like the Bo Jangler, the only fish sandwich splashed with Bo's famous seasoning. So we're having a fish fry, Bojangle style, spicing up premium fish fillets with the good stuff and slathering them with melty cheese and tangy tartar sauce to hook your taste buds with just one bite. Reel in a Bojangler today, only at Bojangles.
Catch the Bojangler at 4828 Southwest College Road here in Ocala. Are you tired of living with chronic pain, knee pain, joint pain? Listen carefully, because now there are new treatments available here. Not talking surgery or steroids. These are regenerative treatments from the medical professionals at QC Kinetics, now with offices in Ocala and the Villages. Hey everybody, this is Tom Schmitz. QC Kinetics is the leader in these exciting biological therapies that help restore and repair damaged tissues in your joints with lasting results. If you got pain in your knees, your shoulders, hips, back like I do, joint pain that won't go away, you need to check out these new treatments with astonishing patient satisfaction reports. They can actually help your body restore and repair itself with no downtime, no drugs, and no surgery. That's right, no surgery. Don't go through another year with that awful joint pain, and don't let them put you under the knife. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation. There's offices in Ocala and the Villages, so give them a call, 352-400-4550. That's 352-400-4550.
Good credits, bad credits. It's none of our business because we're not an auto dealer. We're not a bank. We're not your mother. We're OcalaForSale.com, Marion County's marketplace for cars, trucks, and SUVs. We've got thousands of sellers standing by to take your call. No middleman. But hurry, don't walk, don't run. Just sit down and log on to OcalaForSale.com. Prices and inventory change daily. Offer does not include dealer upcharge, undercutting, less proofing, factory surcharge, or delivery fee. See website for details.
Hey there, Congresswoman Kat Kamak here, your conservative voice in our nation's capital. I'm so proud to be an advocate for the over 65,000 veterans here in North Central Florida. The new Ocala VA clinic is now open, providing important primary care and specialty services. If you're a veteran in the Ocala area, thank you for your service. Feel free to get in touch with our team by visiting us online at camac.house.gov. I'm Kat Kamak, and it is my honor to serve you.
This ad is paid for by official funds authorized by the U.S. House of Representatives.
You know what you want to do in retirement, but do you know how to get there? Tune in to Coasting into Retirement with Gary Marriage of Nature Coast Financial Advisors, Sunday mornings at 8 to get answers to your retirement planning questions. Plan today so you can do the things you've always dreamt about doing in retirement. Listen Sunday mornings at 8 to Coasting into Retirement with Gary Marriage of Nature Coast Financial Advisors.
Our firm offers insurance services.
Now you've done it. Have you lost your mind? He's back. And you're listening again. A legend in his own mind. Don't believe me? Just ask him. Here's Tom Schmitz live on WOCA. The Source.
Welcome back to Ocala Talks. On a Monday, Galen Unal joins us, as he does every day from Life South. Brought to you by the good folks at Palm Garden Health and Rehabilitation Center, located at 2700 Southwest 34th Street. They offer skilled nursing, physical, occupational, and speech therapy. If you got any questions how they're handling the pandemic, give them a call at 352-854-6262. We'd like to thank JustShip.net. They have flipped the script on shipping. But now they have it also with, not only will they come pick your package up and ship it for you, but if you're out and about and just want to drop it off, you can drop your item off at 811 North Magnolia, and the same thing applies. Boxes, packaging, all that, plus postage. You can do it real quick, in and out at JustShip.net's retail store at 811 North Magnolia. Open Tuesday through Friday, 6:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m., and Saturdays, 9 to 1. Closed Sundays and Mondays. Also, we'd like to thank Penn Flooring, family-owned and operated, serving Marion County for over 30-plus years. They owe every bit of the success to their unrivaled customer service. They're very knowledgeable in all flooring applications. Come in and let them help you save time, money, and maybe a headache. Go see their showroom at 1201 Southwest 17th Street, or give them a call at 352-351-3420. Galen, I know that you're going to like this next story. A U.S. appeals judge in the second district of U.S. Court of Appeals in the Second Circuit has given a ruling that will force the New York Yankees to unseal a sensitive letter on electronic sign stealing. The Yankees petitioned for this letter not to be released. It came from Major League, talking about how they, the reports on the Yankees cheating. Rob Manfred sent it to Yankees general manager Bob Cashman. Writing for the panel, the judge deemed the letter to be in public interest because it's for an ongoing, suit that was filed by some fantasy league guys that go, look, if we knew cheating was going on, and if the Major League Baseball knew back in 2017 and it's 2022 and they hadn't let us know that cheating's been going on and they were aware of it, that's costing us. We'd have played other players and everything. The integrity of the game has cost us in our fantasy. So they filed a lawsuit, and now it looks like we're about to find out about cheating running rampant, not just with the Astros.
Well, we'll see. Let's see what data they end up giving us. I think we all know exactly how it was done. What we'll never find out is to the extent of what it's done. And
well, the Yankees said they didn't use the Yes Network cameras to steal signs.
Oh, they did.
Of course they did.
But the question is how did they get the messages to the batter? That's the question.
And that's going to be a big question because we know how the Astros did it. They beat a garbage can. The Yankees, it's the Yankees, though. They probably came up with a better way than beating a garbage can.
There were like Apple Watches. There was all kinds of signals. I mean, it's baseball. This isn't a new issue, right? I mean, it's just not. So I just think this is much ado about nothing.
Well, there's three teams that are involved with this. An assistant trainer, according to this, an assistant trainer has used an Apple Watch to relay signals.
Correct.
From Yankee catchers to Red Sox players. And that's the Red Sox. That's the Red Sox part of it. The Yankees have used.
That's the Alex Cora, and he got suspended for a year for that.
According to this letter, also supposedly the Yankees are going to be blamed for using the Yes Network camera to decode signs. And then they were relaying it to the dugout using the phone, which they were fined for, and Boston was fined for it. And we know they were fined for a couple things, but we don't know the extent of what the cheating was, if at all. And this letter is supposed to shed light on that, I guess.
Okay. Again, let's see what comes out of it. I mean, so what?
The Yankees in court documents said, we worry about the letter's release, saying it could cause significant and irreparable reputational harm to the New York Yankees brand.
Well, and it will. But guess what? I mean, it will. All it will do is make it absolutely clear of every issue that we already knew was there. Right? I mean, it's just going to reaffirm everything.
Well, the Athletic is reporting that the Yankees are expected to release the letter as perhaps as soon as this week, and that the letter could prove explosive. But from everything they've heard, you're just going to get a cryptic letter that nobody understands what it says anyway.
No, I don't know about that. I mean, it's not going to be like, here's an outline of exactly how we did it.
Well, by the way, the Yankees can
the
Yankees can release it as a redacted form, according to the judge. That means they can remove names, delete or obscure titles, and take other steps so long as those measures don't, as Judge Blanco wrote, unduly interfere with the public's right to access.
Sure. Right.
Well,
right.
who's to say what's public
I
access?
Now, we also know from the Astros not every player wanted the sign. For a handful of them, they felt it was distracting and they didn't want to have anything to do with it. We also know that other players became all-stars and potential Hall of Famers because they got it. Right? And all it was is it's a breaking ball or a fastball. Right? If they were banging on a trash can, it was a breaking ball. And the Red Sox used a very similar one, except it was some kind of a sound from the dugout. So, and the people are like, oh, how does this happen so fast? You got 15 seconds to do it. You can get that done.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Because especially where they really use it when there was a runner on base, because the pitchers go so slow.
Right.
Pitchers could solve this by
speeding up. Yeah.
Sure. Sure.
Nobody stole
but
Greg Maddox's signs.
No. Well, and then said they've gone in the opposite direction. And now they are slower because now they're using wristbands.
Yeah. Everybody's looking at their wristbands now.
That's exactly
right. I just remember the days, and I know you're not quite as old as I am, but I just remember the days when guys like Johnny Bench, Carlton Fisk, they called their own game. There was no looking in the dugout for what the manager wanted called.
There's a handful that do, but there are so many more pitchers, and the analytics.
I know.
Is such a
the
part
analytics have become so crazy, and I know. Bench was catching four guys. All four guys were throwing deep into the seventh and eighth inning. There was, the sixth inning reliever, the seventh inning reliever weren't part of the game. I know, but I remember when quarterbacks used to call their own plays too, and it was a boring game then because dive right, dive left. Oh yeah, hook pass. Now it's a better football game. So, but baseball I think could be better if the catchers and pitchers called the games instead of the manager. But it's analytics. I know what's causing it. I know it's the rotisserie league started this, and now they're suing because of it.
Yeah, I kind of think it's hilarious. That part of it is very, very funny to me. So again, though, Tom, I mean, it all depends on what you think as a fan, information that you deserve. Because I don't think you deserve this information just because you bet on a game.
No, and that's
that's going to change.
Right.
That's going to change as the partnerships between these leagues and these betting sites develop and things like that. But they've never had these kinds of problems, for example, in countries where it's very legal and it's expected, like in England with the Premier League.
They don't have this problem in Korea with the Korean Baseball League. They don't have this problem in Japan where they can gamble on it with the Japanese Baseball League.
Yeah.
So, hey, let's switch gears and talk for a minute about when the ceiling is going to be reached in professional golf. Because yesterday, the winners of the Team Zurich Classic at TPC Louisiana were Patrick Cantlay and Xander Schauffele. They both made just south of $1.7 million each. $3.4 million was the winner's check for the Zurich Classic. I just don't. It's not the most individual money. The most individual money is the Players Championship at 2.1 to one player, but 1.7 million. I mean, the Masters doesn't pay the winner, but 1.86. The Zurich Classics paying 1.7.
Hey, man.
I mean, there doesn't seem to be a ceiling. Tiger Woods started this 25 years ago in 1996, 1997, when the sponsorships and all and the interest in golf went from a winner winning $300,000 a year to 1.1 million or 1.2 million. Now they're upwards almost 2 million in every tournament. This ceiling for golf, I don't see it ending anytime soon.
Well, yeah, I mean, they always talk about, the Tiger effect, the Tiger effect. Well, the Tiger effect is still there because the ratings are so good. And again, this time of the year, there's not a lot to compete with. It's not like anybody's watching the NBA playoffs.
No, but the USFL's getting good ratings compared to the NBA.
I saw that. At some point, you're going to have to start watching it. You're going to have to buy in.
It's a TV league. Nobody's going to the game. I actually watched one quarter yesterday. I watched a quarter, and there's nobody in the stands. So it's a complete TV league because they do have NBC and Fox as their partners.
Right. And again, if you're NBC and Fox, there's like, okay, what else are we going to show? We don't have the rights to the NBA. And baseball, what baseball's all regionalized now, so there's very few games of the week that are compelling enough.
It just shows you how entrenched.
On there. And by the way, you know what they paid for the broadcasting rights?
A lot of money.
Like $1.
Oh, is that all?
No.
Oh.
For the USFL, I think it was like $1.
Oh, well, yeah.
And again, that was smart. Have a low entry fee, and let's go to work.
Well,
and just we'll build the brand.
And does it not show you though? Because they hadn't been getting great ratings, but they've been beating the NBA regularly against the playoffs. It just shows you how entrenched the game of football is. It's not even close anymore. Sure. It's football. There shouldn't be a big four anymore. There should be football and then all the periphery sports. That should be how it's done.
Well, it's football, and then it's the draft, right? And then it's the preseason, and there's just different levels of football. Sure.
And the USFL people are going to watch just because it's football.
And you know this, you make fun of me for this all the time. Football's the easiest game to talk about.
It is.
It's because we could talk about how bad, this decision is by the quarterback.
You could Monday morning quarterback.
The organization. Yeah. In baseball, you're like, well, the pitcher was just off. I mean, his fastball wasn't moving or whatever, right? There's just not that kind of depth in baseball compared to what there is in the NFL to talk about, or college football. And I think college football it creates more conversation about the NFL than anything else.
Yeah, so, I don't know where it's going, but the USFL getting better ratings in the NBA playoffs. And, the NBA playoffs are supposed to be, the NBA is supposed to be the up-and-coming league to challenge No, it's not. It's terrible to watch. It's all about, one-player situations and everything. It's not.
We're still a month away from it being interesting. We'll talk about it once they get to the conference finals.
Something I do want to talk to you about. And
a long way away.
When I saw this story, I immediately got angry. I read this story yesterday, and I go,
you get angry about a lot of
Yeah, but I don't know if you saw this story.
You're an angry man. You're a little angry man.
The Florida High School Athletic Association's Board of Directors is meeting today in Gainesville.
Yeah.
They have an agenda item to discuss and take action on an issue. The board already wants to repeal the metro districts and the rural districts.
I saw that. I think they're going to make it a couple of amendments, which is going to be interesting. So I don't think anybody liked all of it. I think there are people who liked pieces of it. I don't think anybody liked all of it.
Yeah, but they voted 9-7, and now, because it was such a close vote, now this one member wants to go back and look at it again because he said I'd have voted differently if I'd have knew the makeup of the football advisory committee.
Right.
And the advisory committee voted unanimously the past 2 years to do this. It includes 2 members from each of the state's 4 regions, one of which is South Florida. 6 of the 8 coaches currently on the committee are from schools in suburban areas. He said, I would have voted different. Arza said, I would have voted different if I'd have known 6 of the 8 were from suburban areas instead of metropolitan areas. You voted. It's 9-7. It hadn't even, the season hadn't even started yet, and you're already unhappy with it. To me, this is a terrible, terrible thing, because it'd be like, hey, we voted to impeach the president. Now I want to go back and I was wrong. I want to go back and change my vote. Your vote's recorded in history. You can't go back and change it now. Not before anything happens. You don't. All you're going back and change. You are not changing anything because nothing's happened. You're just saying. You're just saying I don't like what happened. I want to revote.
Well, no, he doesn't like who's going to determine the committee, and that's the part I was like, well, that was already in stone.
Right.
There are reasons not to like this vote. I'm not going to disagree with that. Right? I think we can all, I mean, you and I have talked about the FHSAA and how messed up they are for years. But it just makes no sense, does it?
I just don't understand.
Zero sense.
If you had to, Ralph Arza, who is an at-large, a citizen at-large board member, he said, I voted to break it apart. But now when I find out, what do you mean when you find out who the people were that were choosing, the committee was choosing? How did you not know that before you voted? It was public record.
Right.
It was out there. How'd you not know? This sounds to me just like an excuse to try to get it back on the agenda to take it away. That's what it sounds like.
He went back home and got ripped. Right? I mean, every sports writer in the state of Florida who covers high school football or high school sports has talked about this and come out against it. And he's just feeling that pressure, and now he wants to change his vote. And because he works for the FHSAA, they're going to allow him to change his vote. That to me is the worst part. Again, most corrupt organization in the state of Florida? Yes. Yes, it is.
I don't know. You know, we do have a Democratic Party in the state of Florida.
Hey, I'm not. Those are still good people.
Oh,
I think there are good people at the FHSAA. They just need a good leader.
Debbie Wasserman Schultz. Debbie Wasserman Schultz helps run the Democratic Party in Florida. That's all I need to tell you.
Well,
there.
I mean, there
all I need to tell you there.
Real morons on both sides. But you expect politicians to be idiots, Tom.
Yes.
Right? I mean, you don't expect a board member of the FHSAA to be this dumb.
No, because when was this? The last day? Didn't they vote the last day of February, the first day of March, something like that?
Well, what was it? 2 months ago?
It was either It was either February 28th or March 1st. It was one of those dates they voted.
Something
Let
like
me see what it was.
It wasn't long
the
ago.
board of directors.
You went home
9-7 on February 28th. Yeah.
And got ripped on social media. Was at church, and somebody came up and was like, "Man, I thought you were smarter than that." Right? I mean, that's what happened. And the guy's like, yeah, I made a really bad decision. I need to I need to take back. Let's rerun this. That's all he did.
But how can you rerun something? Yeah, exactly. That's the issue.
It's the FHSA for allowing it. Because this guy's like, look, he probably called up to the number. And by the way, call that number right now. You won't talk to a human being. Call that number and just, look, I need a redo. Can y'all come up with an excuse for us to revote? And so they came up with this thing, I didn't know who was on the committee. Committee's been formed for like a year. Yeah, good luck. And by the way, they are going to take the vote again, and it is going to get knocked down. And once again, the whole bracketing that starts here in August is going to be completely thrown out the window, and we're going to have the same problem.
Yeah, exactly. That's the issue. Is this is just going to create more problems. You have a thing in place. You voted on it. It got passed. Yes, it was by the slimmest of margins, but let it mature. Let it simmer for a bit. Don't come back now. It's like buyer's remorse. You did an impulse buy. You did an impulse buy, and now you're like, oh no, I want to give it back. Well, too late. There's no refunds.
Right. I mean,
you've put the underwear on. We're not taking them back.
You took the book to the bathroom. I mean,
Right,
we
exactly.
have discussed this problem for years. For years, and we've looked at it from every possible angle. And it's just not going away. It's not going away.
I don't want to say, I am going to say it. It all, poop runs downhill, so it all starts with leadership.
But you could solve this so much.
It all starts with leadership.
You could have a private school championship and a public school championship.
Done.
Just like almost every other state does. When instead they're like, well, the private schools know that they wouldn't be able to recruit the same if they couldn't win. It makes no sense, because guess what? The 1A, 2A, 3A champions are almost always private schools.
Something,
right? What was the number, like 80%?
Right.
I don't remember the number off the top of my head.
It's like 76%.
And then when you get to 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, they're mostly public schools.
Right. So this is something we got about 2 more minutes. Another story out of the FHSAA that I didn't even realize. This is how much I do it. I didn't realize there's no shot clock in high school basketball.
Say that again? You broke.
There's no shot clock in high school basketball in Florida. I thought there was a shot clock, but they're going to vote on a shot clock Monday on a proposal that was introduced. How is Florida in 2022 not have a shot clock in high school basketball?
Couple of reasons. The number one reason is cost. You're going to need to pay somebody to be that clock operator. I've spent a lot of time in high school gyms over the last 4 years. There is not a lot of confidence at the clock operating level. That's problem number one.
Referees, bring a third referee in.
They already have 3 referees.
I mean, that's what they do in football. Is the shot clock operator is the ref.
Yeah, but you don't carry that clock on the court. So what they're going to need is probably to pay another clock operator, and then they have to buy the clock. Do you know how much a clock is for, like, Booster Stadium, for example, was to put in a game clock or, a play clock? You know how much that would cost?
No, probably 10 grand.
12 grand.
Oh, yeah.
12 grand. So, and again, we talk about how these schools don't have that kind of money.
The county puts it in the budget to add it. The county puts them in.
Yeah, well, the county doesn't have any money in there because of the fire department. But again, I am for the shot clock. I've played and coached in tournaments where they have the shot clock. I think it's a better game. I think the ball moves. And by the way, this would have almost zero impact on the game itself, because most high school teams don't pass the ball enough for a team to use it.
Galen, where's the Bloodmobile today?
Hey, the Bloodmobile today, we're actually at the lake, almost to the villages, so come check us out there. But as always, we're right on the boulevard, 67, Silver Springs Boulevard.
Galen, talk to you tomorrow.
UFL.
Talk to you tomorrow.
All right, bye all.
We'll be right back after this timeout.
Broadcasting from the Ocala International Airport, this is WOCA AM, W242CA FM, Ocala, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
USA Radio News with Lance Pry.
Emmanuel Macron has won France's presidential election, fending off a challenge from candidate Marine Le Pen on Sunday's runoff vote. Macron took 58.5% of Sunday's vote, making him the first French leader to be re-elected in 20 years. He and Le Pen advanced to the runoff after finishing in first and second place, respectively, among 12 candidates who ran in the first round back on April 10th. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken and Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin met with Ukraine's President Zelensky in Kyiv Sunday. American officials told reporters the United States will be sending more weapons and will return diplomats. It should be noted the Biden administration has not had an ambassador to Ukraine. That should be changing very soon. United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres will be visiting with Zelensky and Russian President Vladimir Putin separately next week. USA Radio News.
Hey, I'm Andy. If you don't know me, it's probably because I'm not famous. But I did start a men's grooming company called Harry's. The idea for Harry's came out of a frustrating experience I had buying razor blades. Most brands were overpriced, over